Hey guys, and we're back. And yeah, we're playing Niefelheim in single player against reasonably easy AI. And I think we have it set to difficult. And yeah, we're just kind of talking about game concepts as we go. And the reason we picked Niefelheim to play with, to remind everyone, is because it's a nation that kind of has some blunt instruments. It has a few things you can do, and then they're just going to work pretty darn well. Without you having to understand deep game mechanics. And it's also kind of fun having huge giants storm around killing everything. And finally, it's a great way to intro yourself into more complicated parts of the game, like thugging and super combatanting, which is what we're going to talk about in this episode. We're not going to cover it in a huge amount of depth, but we're going to talk about it a little bit. So, we had a few battles, and unfortunately, one of these, this here was where I was building a fort on a throne, and so we actually got this denied from us. And I didn't see that Pomoria could attack here. I don't know exactly what it was. And here's the AI zapping me with Thunderstrike. Damn. I don't know if we know what their bless is. Don't think that has been indicated to us. Oh, they didn't even bless themselves. How about that? There you go. Cold resistance, dark vision, swamp survival, and recuperation. All right, buddy. So, okay, that was unfortunate. I would have put more PD or something else there if I knew that they could have attacked it. I just wasn't paying attention. We found a stone circle, which is nice. That lets us get wood hinge druids, which we don't really need because we have better mages to get anyway. And I think we're going to research here because we're going to, for this episode to be about thugging, we have to get a little bit more thug paths. Ideally, we need Alt 3 and Construction 2, though we can potentially do it a bit on the cheap for less than that. But we're going to have to get forward a few more turns before I can really talk about it. And I think we're going to attack into these guys here. And I think we're going to waltz down here and take this. Now, one of the things that you need to think about in a multiplayer game, also in a single player game, is it's very hard in a single-player game to predict moves, but here it'd be very hard in a multiplayer game to predict moves, too. Fortunately for me, these unmarked are not that good, and he doesn't have a very good bless. So what I need to do is I need to put enough PD in surrounding provinces, or I need to have people go to surrounding provinces, that we have a pretty good shot at killing all these guys. Which I've now done. I don't need to put PD here, necessarily. I might need it here. Heavy infantry and furblog. Let's see. 1 second. If any of these are bad, this is a kind of bad PD type. I'm going to go up to like 25 here because I really do want to catch these guys. One of the worst things is just having people run around in your lands. Once you get magic phase attacks and stuff, it's a lot easier to kind of pick people off. But for now, it's going to be a bit tricky. I think what we're going to do, we've got a bunch of PD here. We're going to run up and attack this. And this is cold 3, so we should have a pretty good chance of actually being successful in here. We're also going to start... we're going to start claiming this, or making this palisade here. And Shaggy Dog... he can really only fight in my Dominion. Well, that's not completely true, but he's best fighting in my Dominion. Oh, we can hit this. Okay, we're going to hit this. I would like to get this throne, too. That might be where we take this army in a hot second that is in this fort right now. What I do want to do, we're going to turn on production of these guys. We're going to upgrade this fort. Oh, it's already upgraded. Okay, so he's basically done. And we've site searched here. I think we're going to make a temple because I want to get my dominion spreading. And then after that, we're probably going to have this army run down here and mess with these guys. And that's probably something we can do pretty darn well. We have a temple here, which is good. I was going to say we were going to preach, but we already have the max amount of dominion. We'll actually take a moment here and talk about how candles work. So the way candles work is temples and prophets and gods generate candles. You can also generate candles by having a preacher preach. if you have a candle that comes from a temple, a prophet, or a god, it's what's called a temple check. And a temple check, basically, it's going to create the spark of a candle. And what do I mean by a candle? Like, each province can have a certain amount of candles in it. That means friendly dominion. If we have our temple here in this province, Niefelheim, generate a temple check, it doesn't mean the candle in Niefelheim goes up. What it means is that there's the spark of a candle. And it may go here, or it may move to adjacent provinces. The higher your dominion is in a given province, the more likely it's to move out to an adjacent province. So it could go over here, and there's a chance it could land in this province. There's also a chance it could keep percolating outward. And by this means, you can end up having a lot of dominions pressure from interior temples pushing outwards on the front of your dominion. There's also a chance that your candle, on its way wandering out, bumps into enemy dominion. If it does that, it has to roll a chance of, is it going to push itself into the enemy dominion and maybe reduce enemy candles by 1 or have no effect. And the chance of that happening is based on your dominion strength and based on the amount of candles they have in that province. Suffice it to say that it's basically like you have a bunch of kind of dominion pressure generators, and then they end up kind of pushing up against each other. And one of the ways you arbitrate that is by preachers. And you can have preachers, and they can go and preach things up, and their preaching is kind of independent of all the temple checks. It's only going to go in the one province they're in, and they can only preach it up to a certain amount. So anyway, that's preaching. It may be worth it to have this guy come over here and start preaching. Right now there's only one enemy candle, so this preacher may be able to come over here and preach this up to make it my dominion, which will be really good because it's going to make this cold. And then because of the Niefelheim special, where adjacent provinces to your dominion start getting cold scales, it will start pushing my cold scales into their provinces, which is something I like. And we're going to continue site searching with this guy. And right now we're really focusing on getting our research going. Oh shit. Ran out of money. How did that happen? Okay, we'll keep the Neeple Jarl production on, but we're gonna... Oh, I need to get... God, there's still places to expand over here. This is a kind of lousy province, and it's Long Dead Horsemen, which are kind of hard. I think I'll let somebody else have that. I think we're going to bring this guy over here and build a temple. I want to get my dominion pressure going. And I think this will do that. And so I think that's it. We're going to go ahead and go to the next turn. We're going to have to go through a few turns kind of quickly here because I want to get to the thugging part. But to get to the thugging part, as I mentioned, we need a bit more research. So we've attacked Pomorian. Pomorian did not have much here. Pomorian just had a tiny bit of PD. And we're fighting in Cold 3. And even if you have cold resistance, fighting Niefelheim Giants in Cold 3 is not trivial. You can see these guys just absolutely wallop people. Look at these stats. 20 defense, and this is without any experienced stars. Okay, so that was this. He attacks us here, and there's a good chance I put PD wherever he's attacking. And yeah, this is one of the places we didn't have great PD, so I came in... What are you guys doing? Oh, good job. They sniped the commander. So one of the things we haven't really talked about is you have commanders and you have units. If your commander gets sniped, if they get killed, units will not stay on the battlefield once all the commanders are gone. They say, this is enough, I'm getting out. And that's exactly what happened here. Now, I think we would have beaten these guys anyway, but we might not have. It took us a long time to kind of shoot these guys, so that actually may have been a Jedi-level play from my province defense, so I can't script or control. And then we attack them here. I wonder where this is. Okay, they actually put a lot of province defense. This is about, probably about 20-something, 30, 25 province defense. And they're going to have a very hard time with Neeple Giants. Neeple Giants don't really care about province defense in cold. So there's that, and then... Oh, and we see his god. So this is a god, this is a hooded spirit, and this is a trinity god. Unfortunately, none of his brethren are here, and he only has water magic, which means he's only going to be able to do cold damage. That said, we're getting smacked by Smite pretty hard, and one of our guys looks like they're getting kind of low. Oh no, he's fine. This guy's getting a little low. He's got a never healing wound, though. Now the question is the god going to get wise and run, or is he going to sit here and hang out? Because these guys will make reasonably short work, and I'm not sure if he has... Okay, he does have some cold... He has cold resistance 10. He'll actually be okay resistant to the cold aura. But what he is not resistant to is super big Nephil axes. And it appears they have given him an affliction. Every time you take damage, you have a chance to get an affliction. He got a very bad one. He got map move minus 70%. And combat speed 2. So he is only just able to limp slowly off the battlefield. He has no defense, which means we're always going to hit him. However, he has Body Ethereal on, which we'll get talking more about buffs and stuff when we get talking about thugging. But this, I guess, is a good time to talk about one of them. Body Ethereal is going to make you... Essentially, it's going to negate the damage of 75% of incoming attacks if they are non-magical. And our axe, while it hits for a magically large amount of damage, 37, it is not magical in and of itself. But that said, eventually, yeah, we're going to get lucky, and that is one of his gods dead. Now, because it's a Trinity god, it's a god, you know, there's the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, or Holy Ghost. It has 3 of them. And so until we kill all 3, there's still going to be Pomorian gods running around. Now, it looks like we got attacked here by barbarians. That's very sad. We took misfortune, but we should have the ability to handle misfortune events reasonably well, because we have thugs and super combatants. It's now turn 19. You can, if you... if we took like a monolith, your monolith, I was talking about those in Pretender design. He would be running around researching, or not running around, he would be staying still researching instead of running around taking provinces. And what that means is we would actually have a lot of these buffs, and, you know, we'd have some construction maybe, we'd have some alteration. That would be online way sooner. But we expanded like crazy fast with Shaggy Dog here. So that's a trade-off. That's definitely a trade-off. What was this? Okay, that was him attacking. This is a swamp. We'd probably like to go over here and take that back. But, oh, we need to get a temple over this way also. And where is Fomoria's capital? Here's Fomoria's capital. What I'm inclined to do is they're very likely to attack. I'm inclined to put like some PD here. And one of the things the AI does, a player would not do this. And a player is almost always going to like protect their capital, especially when you're running at them with Niefelheim Giants and they were dumb enough to take Cold 3. Though maybe, just maybe, well, we're going to claim this throne. It's 200 gold a turn. We can't say no to that. Okay, we're preaching here. This is getting upgraded. We're getting our Gaija. We're going to have a lot less disposable income now, and that is because these Gaija are actually pretty expensive. And we need to start getting some Scrotty, too. Which... I'm trying to think where we should get them. -1 commander point. Got a temple coming up here. Fort being upgraded here. We'll start getting them in a minute. We're not going to get them quite yet. We do want to turn these blue divas back on, too. We're going to preach here to get my Dominion present. We're going to site search here, because we're that greedy. And then once we claim this throne, we'll be able to push in and take a bunch of Fomoria's stuff. And... We've built the temple here. We've site searched. What we can do is come over here and get ready to take this. And this is enough Niefelheim Giants, but I'm not really worried about anything bad happening. I'll probably bring both these guys and we'll take this throne. And we're getting kind of close to our throne victory condition. Right now we've got 3, and I think we only need 4 to win. Yeah, we only need 4 to win. So we're going to hang tight. We're going to site search here, because next time we're going to run in and take this throne. We're going to site search here. This could be the throne we win with, and that might be the throne we choose to take to win. Because we'll conquer Pomoria, we'll go up, we'll take it, and then we'll have a chance before then to talk about thugging. And meanwhile, we're 114. Okay, we're a few turns away. I need to try to play these turns kind of quickly so that in this episode we actually have time to get to... Okay, Marverni has declared war against me. As he should. I'm about to win. And indeed, idiots attacked. And this is not going to go very well for them. So these are the Pomorian Giants. They're these one-eyed cyclopses. And yeah, they're pretty cool. But they typically want... They have a few problems, like pretty low attack density, and they don't hit. They're not very accurate. So they have very low damage outlay in terms of, you know, fighting normal stuff. If they surround a super combatant, they're pretty good. But for fighting normal stuff, they're not super efficient. If you have a good bless on them, they can be a bit more efficient, but... They really like some attack skill. Okay, and you can see this was a flawless victory. And that's going to set us up pretty well to move on top of their capital. Now Marverni has declared war on us. Fortunately for us, Marverni does not have a terribly large border. They've got one down here. What I'm probably going to do is go ahead and just up my PD to 21 on all of the provinces that I border Marverni. And this will at least just reduce the amount of raiding I have to expect. And I don't have to spend a ton of time thinking about it in a single-player game. In a multiplayer game, you don't want to do this. In a multiplayer game, PD is often a waste. Though sometimes it's very good. So it's a matter of knowing when it's a waste and when it's not. Okay, we're going to run over this way. I think we'll have you run over here, because this army could potentially attack this way, but this isn't enough to come attack me. So, and Home Slice is going to run up. We found a site. We found a Garden of Frozen Flowers, which is nice. And that will be good. I think, okay, we have another Neefel Jarl here, and we're going to go ahead and turn this up to... Oh, we have tapped out all our resources now in our capital. I want to send this guy over here to build a fort. And I think this might be our first super combatant. We don't have any gear we can make, though. He honestly doesn't need a ton of it. We've got Quicken Self and Mirror Image. We actually have enough. I wonder if I have a Twist Fate Amulet. I can show you guys some kind of funny things. Not enough magic gems. I don't have any Astral? Damn. We're going to alchemize real quick, because I actually want to show you guys some cool stuff. I can't spend fire yet, so we're going to go ahead and make a Rabbit Foot Charm, and this gives you Twist Fate, which is normally not super awesome, but in our case, it's going to be very awesome. This is Construction 0 thugging with Niefelheim. And we are now in position to take this throne also, which I think we're going to do. We're going to send Shaggy Dog and all of the goons in. Just like so. And we don't need to bless with this guy, so we can actually script him to do cool stuff like Quicken Self. And so what Quicken Self does, I'm going to talk about all the buffs we use, because I'm going to try to assume you don't know a ton about the game. So buffs come in a few different flavors. Buffs come in, and if you look in the area of effect, this one only affects the caster. So it only targets one unit, and that unit is the caster. There's other types of buffs, which I don't know if I'm going to have them. I'll just pull them up in the research menu. There's other kind of buffs, like quickness, and you see area of effect here is 1. And what this means is this affects a whole tile. So if you have 3 units in a tile, it will affect all 3 units. So that we talked about the caster, there's area of effect 1. There's also things which are area of effect 1 person, which is different than caster. And an example of that would probably be... I'm trying to think what that would be, actually. Actually, I think for buffs, I don't think that exists. I don't think that exists. So you have effects caster, you have effects 1 tile. For damage types, there's definitely target one guy. But I can't think of anything for buffs. You have target 1 tile, you have target a whole area like this. So Wooden Warriors affects 5 guys, or 5 tiles worth of guys. And then you have things that affect the entire battlefield. And so these are all the varieties of buffs. For thugging, things that attack that affect 1 tile or yourself are the main. They're the main buffs. So if you want to look at what are all the buffs you can get, you come in here, you hit C to. C is going to filter out all of the rituals. So we have all the rituals gone, and you click the hotkey for one of the paths. Like D brings up all the death, S brings up all the astral, A brings up all the air, water brings up, W brings up all the water. And in here, we can look and see, okay, what buffs should we get? Well, in water, the main ones you get are usually liquid body and quickness when you're above ground, when you're above water. When you're in the ocean, you can cast, this can only be cast in the ocean, but you get Ice Shield, which is kind of good. And these are the main ones. Oh, I guess you can't do W and C at the same time, but anyway. There's a bunch of other stuff in here, like slow is a debuff, encase in ice is a debuff, basically. So there's a bunch of other stuff here. Resist fire can be good if you're fighting fire things. But anyway, that's kind of how you go see what all the buffs are. You can go look in there and see what buffs you want to put. And for our case on the Neephil Jarl, we're going to do skeletal body, which is going to be nice. And we already have Quicken Self on. I can't remember if Breath of Winter stacks. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. We're going to test it out. And that will be just fine. Okay, and we should be able to... normally you would ping this and see what's in there. I have no idea what's in there, but we're doing a single player against not very hard AI. We can afford to roll some dice, and if our god dies, our god dies. We actually are going to be... We're going to start Scrotty recruitment here. And these are our hard thugs, basically. And I think that's it for this turn. We've got to keep rolling to get these spells researched in this episode. I probably only got 2 more turns for this episode, so I'm hoping we get to thugs. Okay, that's going to be a slaughter. Here we're attacking the throne, so we'll see what happens. So this is going to be like a very light intro into thugging with this guy, because he's just cast Quicken Self. He only has a few buffs, he doesn't really have much. But Niefelheim Giants are disgusting with even just a few buffs. Look at him. Look at him go. Chop. Every turn. So because he's quickened, he has better attack and defense skill, and he goes twice per round. And so you can see his defense is starting to get very, very, very high. He's probably harassed down some, too. Yeah, harass -4. It would normally be 27, which is just an extremely high defense. And you can tell the Neephil Jarl because of his very fancy shield and slightly improved hairdo. And a lack of a helmet. Does he not have a helmet? Oh, he doesn't have a helmet. I guess when you're size 6 and you're that badass, you don't really need a helmet. So we've cleared out another throne. We've attacked Pomoria. This is Pomoria's capital. Now what we've done here, this is something that you do pretty commonly with the AI, is the Parry and Thrust, which is you wait for them to attack you, you smash their army, and then you go on the offense. That way you don't have to worry about them attacking you on the defense. And yeah, these guys give 0 shits. Imagine picking a fight with Niefelheim when you're cold 3. And we take this. Okay. So yeah, this is what fighting the AI with Niefelheim is like. Slightly stompish. We're going to be bringing these guys into siege. One thing to talk about for sieging, we have put ourselves on top of an enemy fort, but we don't get the full... We have partial ownership of the province. What that means is we're dragging some income from it, but he's still collecting some income. And furthermore, he still has units and mages and whatnot that are inside the fort that we're going to have to deal with. Now, in order for us to actually get inside the fort, we have to crack it. We have to break the fort walls. And the fort has 500 wall strength. And if we click on our army and we hit T, we can see how much siege strength we have. Now, giants are very strong, so they're very good at sieging, but we don't have that many of them. So if we get more giants in here, we'll actually be able to siege reasonably well. But as it stands, it's going to be a little slow. Hurlers are going to be our other thing to pop forts very quickly. So we'll go make some hurlers here, and we're going to have this guy run out with them. This many hurlers will crack the fort walls very quickly. It doesn't take much. And we need to build a temple over here, but I got to get a mage of sorts. I think this guy can make it down here. We're going to have him build a temple, and oh, he's already got this. Okay, he'll do super combating in a minute. For now, he's going to be on temple building duty. And I think we're going to go ahead and claim this throne. What did we get? The Throne of Death. Okay, not really ideal. We'll go ahead and preach here. Actually, I think we're going to go ahead and start building our fort. And we're going to put a fair amount in PD here so that the AI doesn't get feisty. We're going to look and make sure all the provinces we've taken have at least 11. Because we've taken a fair bit from the AI recently. So it's probably going to be a few of them. And I'm not going to be able to get them all to 11, so I'm going to get all of them to 6 at least now. I say that. We have to remember to come back next turn. We're going to wait here. We're going to continue site searching. Okay. So we're doing that. Research. We now have Alteration 3. And actually, Alteration 4 is going to have some kind of cool stuff. We're going to pick up Construction 2, then we're going to hit Alt 4. And that will be good. Our research is going to be picking up... If you click on statistics, you can look at your graphs. One of the graphs, if you look at our research, you can see it was like really bad through all of expansion because we didn't have anybody researching. We were too poor to make mages, and our god was not doing his thing. So we had the worst research in the game, I'm sure. And then here, once we got all of our forts up, it's starting to really go fast. And it's going to just go crazy. And if you're in a multiplayer game, you probably don't want to sacrifice research so hard early. We're not at war with TNG. They're looking pretty aggressively at me. And then we're at war with Marverni, but I don't see any troops manifesting on our border yet. Okay. We're going to go ahead and intern. And if Pomoria attacks me somewhere, this may be effective. I'm not sure. It depends if we... Okay, we've got the heavy cav. Okay, we've got a route, so that's nice. And we attacked them here. They had a Numidian sorceress. Let's see what they cast. Now our guys have shock weakness, so shockwave is actually quite effective against us. You can see we took 19 damage, and normally it does not deal 19 damage, but unfortunately she also has a vulnerability to huge fucking axes, so she is dead. And yeah, so we have now... we've now site searched this. We found a Weeping Stone. We've claimed the Throne of Death, so we have really good death income. And we have just a criminally large amount of gems. Generally, you don't want to have this many gems, but we haven't had any way to spend them. We don't have research. We haven't had construction to forge things. We're going to go ahead and build a temple here. Oh, there's a death match coming up. And I have a Scrotty. Okay, we're going to compete in this death match. And what we are going to do... For Niefelheim, death tournaments are usually pretty good. Because even with pretty minimal gear, you have a pretty good shot at winning. We're going to put this on him, and we're going to compete in the death match. And let's read it, because some of these are different. Spellcasting is not allowed. Participants will borrow a slave collar to ensure they do not perform magic or run away. As this is the game for common people, pretenders and disciples are not allowed to compete. Okay, so basically this guy is going to jump in, and he's just going to go attack closest. We can't script him. But he's going to be very scary, nonetheless. And Dominion's starting to spread over here. Okay, Marvarni has finally manifested stuff on our border. Here he's got a Cave Drake. We're going to go ahead and up these. This is a fair amount of stuff he's got. We're going to try to get these up to 25, which I think this one's actually really bad PD. We're going to need more. And this should be okay. Got our temple getting built. This Gaija is old, so she is not long for the world. One of the things we can do with old Gaijas is we can twice born them and run them in to their death, and they'll come back as a white mage. Which, that's more of like an advanced thing, so we're not going to go into detail. I'm just mentioning it. I think we're going to take you, good sir, and run over here. I wonder if Marverni's going to attack me soon. Okay, we don't have enough. We're going to wait with him. And we're going to keep attacking Femoria here. We're going to run over this way, and we're going to push our way up and take all of this stuff from them. That's going to be the plan. Now, we have a bit of money left. I'm going to try to get 11 PD everywhere with the last of this, if I can. And that's Fomoria's capital, so we can't do it. Okay. And, okay, we're sieging this. We're coming in attacking this. Fomoria's got like a last hurrah of dudes. It is probably not going to help him. I think here we're going to actually do Quicken Self. Now, I thought... Maybe it's Enchantment or Alt 4. I thought we got Stygian Flesh kind of soon. Yeah, okay, it's 4. So we're working on Alt 4. After we have Alt 4, we're going to have Stygian Skin, which is actually going to make our Neefel Jarls in the super... It's going to make them kind of super combatants, which we've been waiting for. We also do... Oh, we have construction too, so I can forge some basic gear. So, okay, it's toward the end of the video, but we're going to get to talking about super combatanting and thugging. The first rule of super combatanting and thugging is you need your guy not to die. In order for them to kill everything, they need to not die. And you basically have different ways you can do it. One of the ways is you never get hit, so you have like a really high defense score. The problem with that route is you tend to get surrounded. And if you get surrounded, every time an enemy makes an attack against you, your defense goes down. So when you get surrounded, you kind of fall to the defense thing. You can have really high protection, and then even if they're hitting you, they're never going to be able to do damage. That's probably the most common route. Or one of the most common routes. The problem with this is if you get fatigued out, well, if you get fatigued out, if your fatigue gets to 100, not only will you not be able to attack, but your defense is going to be very much lowered, and you're going to start having armor-piercing hits that land. And so that's another thing to manage is fatigue. For us, we're going to have 4 encumbrance, and we don't have anything in our Bless, I don't think, that gives us fatigue regeneration. So we actually kind of do want something that is going to help us manage our fatigue. And in our case, the only thing we can get right now is Ranger Boots. They're going to give us Reinvigoration too. So we're going to go ahead and make those. And later on, you could get better things like the Boots of the Messenger, etc., that are going to be nice. I'm trying to think what we should get here for these guys. I'm thinking we get 340. Okay, we're going to turn on more Scrotty production in a second. One thing I'm also going to make here is this Ice Aegis. This Ice Aegis is nice because it's going to increase our ice protection, which means we're going to get bonus 3 protection in cold. It's a little pricey, but it's also kind of nice. We're also going to be looking, because we have a shield slot, we're going to want a good one-handed weapon. This is length 2, will become length 3. I'm going to want to, I think I want to get a one-handed length 3 weapon, like an enchanted spear, is I think what I want. We don't have enough pearls. What to do? What to do? What to do? What to do? Do I have anything else I can make here that's not horrible? I don't think so. I think we're going to alchemize to get the pearls, which you would want to. You can trade and stuff in a multiplayer game to avoid this. And I probably wouldn't want to actually spend my air gems, but we're doing this. We're going to get that. And then we're going to get... So we have our reinvigoration taken care of. We have our protection getting jumped up. I'm trying to think what else we kind of want to get. We're not actually going to need bark skin because we're going to have Stygian skin. There's not a ton here we actually need. And don't feel like you have to fill up every slot. On a chassis that's as valuable as a Nifl Jarl, it's pretty tempting because, you know, they're really good. You don't want them to die. But I think we're actually kind of okay. I don't think we really need to. I'm going against a nation like Pomoria. It might be kind of nice to have a Ring of Tamed Lightning. So we might actually bring this guy home and have him forge some shock-resistant gear. In terms of research, we're heading up for Alt 4. Then we're going to pick up Enchantment 4, which I have no idea what we're doing. We'll go ahead and get Enchantment 5. And then we'll come back up and get Construction 4. Construction 4 is going to open up a lot more kind of heavy thug options for us. We're also going to send somebody down here to go research, or to build a lab at this throne. And I think that is it. Let's go ahead and intern. And we should have the deathmatch thing here too, so that's kind of cool. Bunch of things in the arena. So we have some battles here. We kill his god again. I would show it to you, but he didn't really bring much. I don't think there's going to be much to see. He bounces a Furbolg Druid into some PD. We clear out these barbarians. We kill the heavy cav that he was using to defend in conjunction with some heavy cav PD. So, but we had a really big force there. And here's a big battle that's going to be worth watching. So he tries to knock me off his capital. And like the AI does, there's some mods you can put on to make the AI better. Like, you can see they have a fair amount of independence here. And there's a mod called AI No Recruit, which will keep them from recruiting independence. Like, if you look at my... I don't really play single-player Dominions, but if you look at that Tirnanog game I did, I had it was impossible AI, and I had all those things turned on. And if you do that, they tend to bring a lot more mages than this. And the mages... And we also had improved AI casting. So the mages were going to cast more intelligent things. And then they were getting... It was impossible, so they were getting just huge amounts of resources. So anyway, but I do recommend turning those mods on and maybe increasing the difficulty a bit off this. Like Mighty, I think with all those mods on is a fun way to play Dominions, single player. Not like it's a huge challenge. Now there's a bunch of arena battles. We have a Basalt King. Let's take a look at this guy. This is a super combatant tier dude. He's mostly super combatant because of his paths. In this case, he doesn't really have too much he can do. Oh, I forgot I didn't give any weapons to my Scrotty. Oh, and then we run into him next. So this is the arena, and this is it's a random world event, and basically everybody gets to submit a contenda, and the contendas come and they duke it out. Oh man, he slapped the dog shit out of me. Gave me feeble-minded? Oh no, that was from the amulet. But I'm regenning, and I've hit him. Oh man, that was close. And next up, we have a commander fighting a Son of Heaven. We kill a Bandar commander, which is nothing special. And The final battle is us versus the Son of Heaven. We'll watch that. I don't know if he had anything special. No. Just a big battle axe, which hits really hard. You can see he knocked the dog crap out of me for 20-something. But okay. Success. And as a result, we have won the Golden Sandals, which is actually pretty good. So this guy who has won the Golden Sandals, these give us +5 defense and quickness and luck and an increased map move. So actually a pretty good item. I'll drop this real quick. And he also got, oh my god, he got heroic quickness. This is actually hilarious because this stacks with quickness here. So we are going to be, we're going to abuse this. This is going to be a lot of fun. We need to not screw up and let this guy die. Is this cursed? It's cursed. I wonder what happens if we shape change. I think it just disappears. I don't think it goes into... I kind of want to test. 1 second. Save game and quit. And then we can do this thing where we can test it real quick. So I think I have it under new player game or something. And we're going to test this real quick. Change shape. And you can see the sandals are gone. Did they make it back into the lab? They did not. Okay. Yeah, get rid of it. Okay. All right, things are back as they should be. We've got the sandals on this guy. He's got his heroic quickness. And this guy is not going to be a thug. He's going to be basically a super combatant. But what we are going to need to do is we're gonna need some blood economy, and there's a lot of ways to get it. One of the ways, actually, I want to get construct concentration 2 so I can get wolves. We're gonna do that. Okay. I don't care what they say. I need a few blood slaves because I want to get a flesh eater. And we're upping the PD here because I don't have any. I don't have any patrollers, and we're going to be blood hunting, so our unrest is going to go up, which I don't love. Got these 8 hit points. That will put me up 1 more HP regen, which I am cool with. Okay, this is our... He needs a hat. We're going to make him a horror helmet. This is one of the pretty good hats you can get. It's going to give him fear, which is quite nice. That is kind of a missing part of this kit. I don't think we're going to fill up. I think the leather, well, we could really do a lot better. The armor is a definite weakness here. We don't really have a lot that we can do better. Mirror armor. We're going to make this the copper plate because we have shock weakness, and this will help with that. And what we're going to do is a switcheroo here. We're going to bring these. We're going to have these guys raid, and we're going to have these guys move in. Now, there's a chance Atlantis attacks me because he's kind of building up a ton of guys on my border, which is indicative of him expecting to attack me. But the AI also will sometimes attack you if you're on top of somebody's fort who they're attacking, and they'll do it kind of by accident. And we have another big goon squad to move out here, so we'll just get these guys. Now, you generally don't want to have like super combatant tier dudes. Like if his whole job is just to bless these guys, we can find somebody else to do it, which we probably should do. But right now we're being lazy. And I want to go ahead and get an army force down here to deal with Marverni. And so what we're going to do is we're going to come down here, we're going to go boom, boom, and we're going to take this out, and we're going to start attacking Marverni. Because if he thinks we're just going to sit here and wait for him to come mess with us, well, he's got another thing coming. And I do want to see, did we get temples everywhere we needed them? I think so. We need to build a lab here, and we need to build a fortress here too. And we're going to come this way, and we're going to hit this, and we're going to hit this, and we're going to hit this. We're just going to sweep our way down. And we're going to make... Oh, we can make a copper plate with this. I think with this guy... I also need to make stuff for my buddy. For my werewolf. And I'm not sure what I'm going to make for him. He needs armor. I don't really have... One of the things we don't have is a lot of the great paths for early armor. Once we get Construction 4, we'll have more things open up. But I think this guy... Okay, we're going to make the copper plate with this dude. And this guy's actually going to start super combating. He's actually good enough. I think we're going to... Yeah, we're going to move here. So the script's going to be Blessing, and that's going to put our Bless on him. And then we're going to do Quicken Self. His defense is going to be super high now. And then we're actually going to do Mirror Image, which is not usually great, but we've combined a few things. Really high defense. What Mirror Image does is it gives you basically an illusion. And as soon as you get hit, that illusion will disappear. But until it does, you're going to have 2 illusions, and basically only 1 in 3 attacks will hit. Which, when you combine that with our really high defense, means almost nothing's ever going to hit. And high protection. So we've got a Quicken Self, Mirror Image, and I think what we'll do next is... I think that's good, actually. We'll do Breath of Winter and attack closest. And then we'll put him at the back. And we took back this from the barbs. TNG's starting to look a little feisty. We're going to go ahead and move in position. And I'm feeling pretty okay with all of this right now. We need to get more gear production going. And I also need to switch this over to Scrotty production. Okay, so we're getting Scrotty here. We're getting more Scrotty here. Feeling pretty okay about all of this. We could take this throne and just win. This has been claimed. We do have... I'm going to double check we have 3 thrones. Yeah, we do. So we have a few battles here where we're attacking Pomoria. They're kind of wrecked. And this guy who thought he was going to get a free fight against me is about to find out that it's not going to happen. Now he's opened... he's moved up here, which means he's got a bunch of cavemen, which actually are going to be pretty good in a cave. We're actually going to need to PD dump a bit harder. I'm going to need like 36 or something, maybe 41. We're going to need a lot here. I don't want to lose any provinces here and make this complicated. This will maybe be okay. We might still lose, but I think that will win. And we're going to... I don't know what we're going to do with our god. One thing we can do, and we'll probably talk about it next episode, we're going to go make a play to get Mother Oak, which is something our god can cast, and something you should be thinking about as Niefelheim. Okay, and we have started to get gear for this guy. Oh, her helmet was for this dude. Oh well, he'll be fine. He doesn't need a helmet. And I think we want to get... How long until Construction 4? Not very long. We're going to have Construction 4 mighty soon. Okay, we're going to site search with this guy. We've got... Oh, we can't do Flesh Eaters yet, but we'll be able to do Flesh Eaters soon. And that'll probably be the other item we equip here, is a Flesh Eater. We need Construction 4. And I think we're going to go ahead and take this, because we're pretty strong. So what we're going to do is just Quicken Self. and then Breath of Winter, and then Liquid Body and Attack Closest. And that will kill an infinite amount of dudes. Here we're going to research. We have not yet cracked the walls of Pomoria, and we're going to get on with that, but not quite at this moment. We're going to finish off all of his little resistance cells so that we don't have to worry about him raiding us. And we probably are getting pretty close. Let's see what message we got. If you want to see how close you're getting to cracking forts, you read down here at the bottom. We've started to destroy the fort in Pomoria. The walls are moderately damaged. More time is required to break them down. So it's still going to be a bit. Oh, you know what I should have done that I did not do? So we need to bring these guys on top. And we're going to put these guys at the back and on hold and attack, on hold and fire. Because they actually have a boulder they can do. And we're going to put this guy back here. We basically don't want them fighting. They're just going to come in. As soon as they get on top of it, they're going to knock that fort down. And we need to build here, but we're out of money. So we're going to site search, and then here we're going to come over here and take this. And that will be that. And I think that's going to be the end for this episode. This was actually way longer than the other ones. So I will see you guys next time.